All right, we're glad to know you could join us. It's still environment today, and on our interview segment, we'll be speaking with Blessing Ewa. And Blessing Ewa belongs to a group called the Net Zero as soon as possible. That's NZASAP group. And is a group which promotes what we call net zero emission in the workplace. So, Blessing is already here with us. Blessing, thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so much. It's a
All
pleasure
right.
to be
First
here.
of all, let's ask you why it's important to talk about climate change, particularly net zero aspect of it.
Okay, so when it comes to climate change, the environment is at a very great risk, and net zero is just to reduce the number of emissions that is going to deplete the environment. And it's really important to talk about it because everyone has to do something to be able to bring it to that point where we're able to say that we have been able to achieve net zero. So it's not something that is left for government or private individuals to do. So if we really must promote climate change, then everyone needs to talk about it. Everyone needs to do something about it. That's why we had to talk about climate change.
As much as climate change is considered a global environmental challenge and it's being talked about every year, even all over the world internationally, there is even conference of parties to address some of these issues. There are still some people who don't believe that climate change exists.
Yeah.
Now, are there evidences from your own point of view that show that climate change is real?
Yes, I mean, speaking from Nigeria's perspective now, was it last year we had this great flood that took almost all the states in Nigeria and then rendered over 2 million people homeless and over 600,000 deaths. That is just an example of the aftermath of climate change. And then we've been having one issues or the other of environmental degradation, and then the fossil fuel release from industries and all of that is adding to the depletion of the ozone layer. We've had our floods, especially in the Niger Delta area, being polluted with oil, which is actually killing, the biodiversity, animals and the fishes in the sea, making the water not even potable for drinking. So this is really a climate change issue, a climate change concern. And then we're having issues of pollution. Everybody's throwing everything everywhere. Nobody seems to understand that this thing in one way or the other has a way of affecting us even in the nearest future.
The global climate group called Net Zero as soon as possible. What is the aim of this group? What do you intend to achieve, and how are you working towards achieving that?
Okay, so the aim of net zero as soon as possible, which is also called an NZASAP, is for us to create a workplace climate ambassadorial scheme where we actually initiate or promote climate action in the workplace. Because we understand that people are doing the little bit they can in their homes, in their personal lives. But how about the workplace? Understanding that you have some offices that have over 100 staff, and then some of these offices are actually promoters of what you call emissions. So it's like a scheme that's going to help workplace make informed decisions towards promoting climate action. And then we are going to have ambassadors that will be trained to help other staff or colleagues actually make informed decisions towards fighting climate change in the workplace.
When you say ambassadors, how are you going to choose the ambassadors, and what effort are you making towards that direction now?
Okay, so what we're going to start with is creating awareness about the scheme, and then letting people who are passionate about climate action reach out to us. So we have an email at workplace@nzasap.com where they can reach out to us to indicate their interest. Oh, I would love to be an ambassador for my workplace. Or bosses who would love their workplace staff to be engaged in this kind of scheme, they could also write to us, and then we'll reach back to you with how you can go about it. We have a simple form where you can fill, and then there is a training as to how probably you don't know what you should do to promote climate action in the workplace. We are going to give you all that guidance, and then we see how you can start by taking little steps towards promoting climate in the workplace.
Okay, so for anybody to reach you now, you just have to go to your website. Is that what you're saying? Or is there a way you intend to go to office, from one office to the other, to get people involved and get them to understand what you're doing and be interested in it?
Okay, so we can do that, but the major part of it is that we're going to do kind of like a public advert where people get to see the scheme, and then people get to show interest, and then we have an email where they can reach out to us. The reason why we may not want to do an office-to-office visit is because we do not want to invade people's privacy. We do not want to be like, oh, we're forcing you into a scheme. Remember, this thing is not about pushing people. It's just about people who have the interest, in as much as we hope that everybody will develop that interest. So we do a public campaign, an awareness program, and then we send, of course, we have our website, and then we have an email that they can write to us to indicate, oh, we are interested, and then we can follow up with that and then get them into the whole process.